If you're dealing with a loss, it could be loss of a loved one, a loss of a pet, loss of a relationship, it can be difficult, and the first thing that we tend to want to do is to distract ourselves. In our family, we've just had a loss, and it's easy to want to have lots of people visiting you and or do something to distract away from what we're feeling. But this distraction causes us to store those painful feelings and trap that energy. So it forms a blockage in our energy system, and that means that if we've stored it there and it's become a blockage, it's like a rock in the stream. As soon as the water hits that rock, it's going to create turbulence. As soon as something triggers us, it could be a memory, it could be something that we do, something someone says. As soon as there's a trigger, it's going to trigger all that energy again, and all those feelings are going to come up again. So by distracting ourselves away from feeling what we need to feel, we actually never let go of that. We never process those feelings, and we keep them with us, and that pain just gets triggered time and time again. Now, when you're dealing with a significant loss, the pain that you might be feeling might be incredibly intense. Sometimes it might be overpowering and feel overwhelming. And so there might be times, depending on the severity of the pain, where you might only be able to feel it in small little doses. And if that's where you're at, then, and that's what you feel you're capable of handling, then that's what you must do, is just feel it in small doses. But always be mindful that you don't want to distract yourself away from feeling the feelings, because that's what then keeps that energy from being processed and from moving out of us. Emotion, the root meaning of emotion is to move out. Ironically, the way I define emotion is the feelings in the body plus the story. And as soon as we attach a story to the feelings, we stop the energy from moving out of us. We keep it trapped, only to be triggered again. So how do you process your feelings? Well, firstly, there's a difference between suffering and pain. Suffering is when we get caught up in a mental story about the pain. But the pain itself is just the physical feeling in the body. And the question that we want to be asking ourselves is, can we handle the pain? Because if we can't handle the pain, then we're going to create a story about it, or we're going to distract ourselves away from feeling it. Either way, we trap that energy. Inside us, it's a bit like we've got our own weather system, we've got our own climate. Some days it's sunny, some days it's cloudy like today. Some days there's an incredibly intense storm going on. No weather condition is right or wrong, it just is. If you like a sunny weather, hot weather over rainy, cold weather, that's only because you've developed a preference towards that. It's not the weather that's right or wrong, it's your preference that makes it right or wrong. If you let go of your preference about weather, there would be no right or wrong weather, it's just different. And the same is true for our internal climate. Sometimes the feelings that we feel are very painful and intense and uncomfortable. So we got some hardy-dars. And some days the feelings are very pleasant. It's the story that we associate or attach to these feelings that makes it right or wrong, good or bad. So if you're dealing with loss, be very aware of how quickly your mind is going to want to put story to the feelings. And anytime that happens, what you want to do is you want to bring your attention to the feelings in the body. Just notice, what are you feeling in the body? Where are you feeling that in the body? And don't interpret it. Don't put language to it. Don't put words to it. Don't put a story to it. Just feel what you're feeling. Notice what you're feeling. And you might find that even when you bring your attention to that feeling, it might even intensify for a bit. But like a wave, it will dissipate and it might come again. And if you bring presence to that feeling, you allow yourself to process that feeling. And then the feeling, the energy moves out. Pain, we all experience. It's very natural. Suffering, we don't have to experience. Suffering is when we get caught up in the mind. So keep bringing yourself back, bringing your attention back to the feeling in the body, and allow yourself to feel it, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how painful it is. Feel it without allowing the mind to start getting into a story. And that way you start to process the feelings, and then even if there are triggers outside, a memory, something someone says, something you used to do with the person, for example, it won't trigger that energy because the energy has been processed.